Hi everyone, welcome back. Last week we tried to go against the grain of my normal teams by going with a just pure speedy hyper offense. So this week we're going to change it up again and go really as far in the opposite as we physically can with a hard Trick Room team. Now the Series 9 meta has mostly left this type of team behind, with most people just opting for a Trick Room mode as part of a standard team. You can just toss a P2 and a Glacier onto most teams and do pretty well for you. But I'd like to show that a hard Trick Room team is still very much viable. Hatterene and Stakataka are both just incredibly strong as bulky setters and powerful sweepers once you have your Trick Room set up. And then Leopard and Indeedee, they both have their own strengths for assisting one of those two and getting Trick Room up with either Fake Out and Copycat or Follow Me in Psychic Terrain. So if you choose the right one for the situation, your opponent will just never be able to deny you your own Trick Room. And then you have Torkoal in the back, who is just another amazing sweeper. Charcoal, Quiet, max special attack, Eruptions in the sun, and Trick Room to guarantee you're at full health when you do it. Incredible damage, and it covers our team's steel weakness that Hatterene in particular doesn't like, and unfortunately Stakataka being rock means it's not always the best switch-in for that, especially if it's a special skill attack. Now, I was originally playing Venusaur in this team to give us a fast mode, but I realized that we had one glaring weakness, and that was Incineroar, who is the most used Pokemon in the format right now. Goggles Incid could ignore Sleep Powder and just murder Venusaur with a Flare Blitz in the sun. It intimidated Stakataka, and it snarled Hatterene and Torkoal. So instead of Venusaur, I decided to bring in a Galarian Zapdos. Defiant protects us from Intimidate and Snarl. Scarf Coaching can be amazing next to Stakataka, who has a base 130-something base attack. And Fighting Coverage, it allows our Stakataka to go for pure offense with the 17 IV Lonely Spread that gives it attack beast boost, and therefore it doesn't need Body Press, so it gets more coverage with high horsepower. On top of that, it's a flying switch-in for our two ground weaknesses, one of which is 4 times weak, so I think it just supports this team fantastically. Anyway, that's really all I've got to say about it, so let's get into some games. Okay, let's see if we can find our first opponent and pull out of this kind of lost streak I've been having recently. Okay, we found one. Let's see who we've got. Shane, rank 430, 4330. That'll work. Let's see what you've got, Shane. Okay, so this is actually really speedy hyper offense. And I think it's just going to be a complete no-brainer to take Hatterene and Leopard in this game. And the reason for that is that they have spread damage on almost every Pokemon here. And on top of that, I see this Chandelure. And on a hyper offense team like this, that Chandelure is going to be taking the same role as the Indeedee male that we had on our team last week. In that it's probably imprisoning Trick Room. So they could definitely stop us from using Indeedee Hat to set up Trick Room. But the Copycat tech actually bypasses Imprison entirely. Even if they get it up, we can still use it to put Trick Room up. Because I guess the move counts as Copycat imitating Trick Room as opposed to actually being Trick Room. But anyway, yeah, we can just do that and bring our hard Trick Room mode in the back to clean up. Let's see what Shane is leading with here. Okay, Chandelure Alecki. Alright, so the only thing I'm worried about here is this Alecki potentially maxing. Does Chandelure get Helping Hand? We should find that out. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so yeah, we could go for the Copycat right off the bat, but since Chandelure doesn't get Helping Hand, I'm not worried about that Alecki maxing. So I think we can just fake it out and kill it with a Smite. That does seem like the best course of action, because my guess is that they'd want to Volt Switch out of here, as opposed to attempting to take on Hatterene. We can tank its hits even if it maxes, I'm pretty sure. So what we can do now is fake it out and kill it with Smite. Kill it with Smite now, and then do our Copycat Trick Room the following turn. Like I said, even if they set up their Imprison, it really doesn't matter. And on top of that, we'll confuse Chandelure. Like, we just have to hope for no Protect. They're definitely not maxing, since Hat's max animation came out first. No Protect. Awesome. So let's see the fake out from Leopard now. They go for the Imprison. I guess they just don't know about the mechanic, but we'll always take that. Smite, perfect. That is one dead Alecki, a confused Chandelure, and the Imprison they did is completely worthless. And I'm pretty sure everything they have in the back has no chance of stopping Trick Room either. It was otherwise just completely hyper offense. On top of that, Leopard should outspeed Chandelure, so our Focus Sash should keep us safe from anything. But Copycat's priority anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There's no reason not to just go with the Copycat Max Guard now. They're maxing. Okay. Dracovish? I mean, maybe they'll do the Chandelure, but it's already confused. Alright, I guess they're taking the gamble. Don't see a whole lot of Chandelure anymore, but base 145 attack is nothing to scoff at either. We do our max guard. And unless... Dracovish definitely doesn't get any priority moves, so yeah, Copycat is up. Beautiful. We do not care about your imprison. Oh, and they get hit by the confusion too. Nice. Vicious Ren into the max... Oh, we start off with a Rage Quit. I would normally say good game, but I think they're just a little mad. But that is a great showcase of the non-Zapdos mode here. Like, Hatterene and Leopard do not have to do their trick turn 1. Like, Fake Out or Fake Tears, to begin with, can absolutely run away with games. And then you get your Trick Room to last later into the game for the rest of your Pokemon in the back, too. So, great. Let's move on to the next one quickly, then. Alright, let's see who our next opponent is. Alright, a Japanese player, a little higher ranked. Oh, God, it's Chansey time. Okay, so this is the second time we face this on the channel. If you're not aware, this team's gimmick is to soften you up with Trick Room. Then they use Guard Split from their Shuckle onto a Chansey with Minimize and Seismic Toss. And then they just basically wear you down while Chansey is completely invincible. I hate it, but it's actually become a pretty reliable team archetype, so we can't just write it off as cheese. I think we should probably lead with Indeedee Hat here. That's kind of my first instinct, just to stop any potential Leopard shenanigans. They're probably going to have some powerful prankster moves. We can also reset Trick Room. I'm pretty sure Shuckle underspeeds everything we have, despite being so slow, so we actually don't want Trick Room up this time. And we might even be able to redirect the Guard Split, so that's pretty good too. Now, I don't know for the back... Kind of a tough one, honestly. You know, I think I like Stack Attacka. We want physical damage, right? Because Chansey's special defense before it gets that Guard Split is really good even, but its physical defense is garbage. So Stack could be great. And, you know, I'm actually kind of leaning towards Zapdos because having that physical fighting move, that could be big. And maybe we can even... trick them into a Defiant booster too. We're gonna have to see on that one, but Chansey's always a coin toss, and to be quite honest, I don't factor it into my teams when I build, so probably should start doing that going forward. This is one of those cases where maybe having Glastrier would have been nice, because Heavy Slam ignores Minimize and actually does more damage, I'm pretty sure, when they're minimized, so that would have been an option, but we don't have it. Let's see what they've got. So Spectre and Leopard. Okay, that's actually a new one to me. I haven't seen this on Chansey teams before. Okay. So I think we need to preserve our max for Chansey. That's almost certainly in the back, right? So maxing Hatterene off the back doesn't seem like a great move. I kind of just like Follow Me Dazzle. That Leopard probably has a Sash, so that's another reason why maxing Hatterene is kind of pointless. The best we get is a Confuse, and I really don't want to bank on 30% chances. So yeah, there's no point wasting a Smite into that. I feel like it's not that tough of a decision. Okay, they're maxing the spec. Probably should have seen that coming. There's really nothing else on their team that they could max, especially if they have Chansey and Shuckle in the back. I guess it makes sense, though, because instead of setting up Trick Room, you can just try to get your momentum going with a fast, powerful mon instead of going with Trick Room, especially when you see Trick Room on my team. They might think that they are helping me. So here comes our Follow Me. Hatterene's definitely going to be safe for this turn. And Max Strike. Okay, at least they're smart enough not to use Phantasm or a normal type can use Follow Me. So at least Indeedee tanks that pretty well. We are entirely physical defense invested, so it's nice to see that go. And Snarl, okay. Berry, that's whatever. I'm really happy we didn't max then, because we would have completely wasted it. Guess we're just going to have to see how well Dazzle does. Little chunk into spec, down to the sash on Leopard. Okay, so you know what? Them using Snarl and Max Strike, this might be the best possible time to bring in Zapdos. We could proc Defiant, maybe twice. If we swap it into Hatterene's slot, and then we follow me. Yeah. We can guarantee Zapdos doesn't take any damage this turn, since we know that Indeedee will eat up this attack. Beyond the Snarl spread, right? And then, yeah, we could be as high as +4 if we call this right. Here's our swap and our follow me. Let's see if we called it. There's the max strike. So the only thing bad about this is that this invalidates our Scarf, which is kind of annoying. If they were able to use Phantasm or something like that, then you know, we'd have the ability to outspeed them with our Choice Scarf and just hit them with Brave Bird. Now I think we're gonna have to max if we want to survive. Snarl, all right, yeah. So we are now a +4 Galarian Zapdos. If we can get this to survive past this this early game, then it will completely demolish Chansey, especially if we max, because then we just can't miss. I think Hatterene's the play here. And, okay, you know, thinking about this now, and I think we're going to have to make one more play despite getting this huge boost off, because if that Leopard is like ours, then it'll have Fake Tears, and that would proc Defiant again, but if they outspeed us, I haven't done the calc, but I suspect that Fake Tears Phantasm will just flat out kill Max Zapdos, so I kind of want to go for Max Guard, and this is a situation where having coaching on this is great even when we want to max it. Yeah, so if we do that, and then Dazzle, we can kill the Leopard this turn, and then just not fear it. Spec does have that +1 from Grimnay, but I don't think Shadow Ball on the ground will kill us. Like, sorry, on the ground. I don't think a small Spectrier with +1 doing Shadow Ball will kill a Max Zapdos on the following turn. But high risk, high reward. We're gonna have to see. We got our big ostrich, though. I really didn't expect to get to max it, but this is one of those cases where it always works. Or it absolutely works. Not always. We still gotta see how this goes. Yes. Nice. Okay, we called that perfectly. Dazzle gets rid of their cat. Amazing. Okay. So what are they going to bring out now? It's got to be Chansey or Shuckle. I'd assume Shuckle. We should outspeed Shuckle even with Hatterene. That's specifically why we didn't want to get Trick Room up. Okay, so it's a bit risky, but I think that we want to attack Shuckle with Zapdos, and then we can just Expanding Chords with Hatterene. And you might think that's risky. It is. It could be. We might call this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Spectre just cannot ignore a +4 Zapdos, and that is their only damage expenditure. Like that, the only way that they get their Chansey win con to happen is if they kill Zapdos now. So I think we can just kill Shuckle and take out Spectre with the Expanding Force, and then there's absolutely no chance. If we just pick up this double KO, then we win flat out. Shadow Ball still hurts. They proc Defiant again. I really don't think we needed it, honestly, but that's great. Okay, we called it correctly. Airstream should just be a flat-out one-hit KO. I think our Zapdos is actually at +6 now, which is amazing. Sturdy. Okay, that's fine. Expanding Force is spread, so we should just pick up this double KO now. Nice. So I assume it's just Chansey in the back, and we can just double in with our +6 Zapdos. That's awesome. I could not have asked for a better showcase of Defiant. Chansey the Triumphant. Well, not today. We can just Knuckle. And yeah, Expanding Force is stronger. It really doesn't matter though. And there's the forfeit. I would have liked to see Zapdos actually get that kill, but you know, anytime I get a win over Chansey, I'm just thrilled. Let's move on to one more and see if we can show off a different aspect of Zapdos. Okay, I think this is going to be our last one for the day. Irion? Unclear. Okay, this is an interesting team. I kind of like Stack Attacka for this one. This is an entirely physical team. They do have that Landorus, which is scary, but that's just an excuse to bring Zapdos for the Defiant boost. Granted, the flying attack from Lando will still murder us, but we can U-turn out. We can even just make it a sacrifice if we don't max it. A +1 Brave Bird will still do a ton of damage. Yeah, and if they don't lead Lando, then we can go with our Scarf coaching approach. We do want to get Trick Room up, though, so Torkoal in the back seems good. And then we can either have Hatterene as a second setter, but what I've actually found is that Leopard works pretty well when in the back when we go Zapdos Stack Attacka, because they usually try to get rid of Zapdos since it's just so much frailer. And once they do, and Stack Attacka has its coaching boosts, we can do the copycat max guard trick, you know, a couple turns into the max. It works just as well with Stack Attack as it does with Hatterene. So yeah, let's see what our opponent brings to counter our coaching strategy. We do have to be pretty worried about a lot of things. All of those big physical attackers, yes, we tank them with our physical defense stat, but they also all have moves that are 4 times effective against Stack Attacka, so we're just going to have to play this well. Coaching boosts and Steel Spike boosts should, and the Shukaberry, should all allow us to survive hits, but at some point we are going to need Trick Room up, or they'll just kill us regardless of our bulk, just from Stack Attacka's kind of iffy typing. Alright, and they lead Porygon and Glastrier. That's actually couldn't have gone better for us. Sometimes I wish I had Body Press to have Max Knuckle. Glastrier is so tanky. I don't know if we OHKO it with a +1 Steel Spike. I really feel like we should, but that horse is just stupid. So let's just go with our coaching Steel Spike here. If we get the OHKO, great. If not, I think we're still doing fine. We'll be at +2 defense after this turn, so that's effectively the equivalent of the Shukaberry. And it'll only get more than that. If they don't kill Zapdos on the first turn, then we'll get another coaching boost, and yeah, so I think we should be fine, even if they Quake into us twice. But yeah, I think, had I had Knuckle, then maybe a coaching Knuckle into P2, followed by a +2 Steel Spike into Glastrier the following turn. I think that would have guaranteed it. That assumes they don't Steel Spike themselves, mind you. They'd have their own defense boosts. So to see how it goes. They're maxing too, so they got their big horse, but we're gonna have a big house, so we're just gonna see which one comes out on top. It's also an interesting case for Thunderous Kick. I went with Close Combat on Zapdos just because having that with Scarf is a really great cleanup option in the endgame if I'm unable to keep Trick Room going a second time. But Thunderous Kick plus a Steel Spike into Glastrier also would have been pretty nice. I think that would have been more damage overall since we do damage and get the defense drop, but it's all hypotheticals. Ice Beam into Zapdos. Okay, we live it. Honestly, that's not bad at all. I assume they're just going to do that again next turn, and then we'll just get the free switch into Leopard for our Trick Room. Knuckle. Well, we don't get our Berry, and they get an attack boost, which isn't great, but Knuckle is weaker, so it probably kind of evens out. Here's our +1 Steel Spike. How does this do? Not enough. Alright, well, so they could Max Guard here, but I don't think P2 threatens stack at all. I think it just wants to Ice Beam Zapdos, so there's really no risk to just going with the Steel Spike and coaching again. We'll be at +2 attack, +3 defense, I think, and if we get the Beast Boost going for even more power, that would just be incredible. So yeah, I think this is the play. Like, no, yeah, maybe, yeah, Quake seems better because their whole team is physical, but yeah, we're gonna have so many boosts, right, to just to physical defense, and that's on top of Stack Attack as insane physical defense base stat. And they do still have Indeedee and P2 on this team. On the off chance we don't get our Trick Room up or they reverse it with P2, we definitely want to have want to be able to resist those attacks well to set up a Trick Room manually. Here comes Quake, but we have our Berry. We have so many boosts now. Yeah, wow, Stack Attack eats that up. That is a ×4 effective attack from a +1 Glastrier, and it does not matter. Eat that up easily, and now we should get the KO with Quake. Pick up a Beast Boost. Nice, that is a 1 dead horse. Here's our Beast Boost. Wait, defense? Oh. I'm 90% sure I got this. I verified this was Lonely. I must have messed up the 17 IV. That's not great. Okay, well, and they have Lando, so I really would have liked that attack boost to offset the Intimidate here, which is annoying. It's still fine. I think we can win this anyway. Okay, so we could just do Trick Room Copycat here, but I want to do Fake Out instead, and the reason for that is that I'm worried that P2 will reverse our Trick Room. They can read our play and then just also use Trick Room and reverse it. If we get this right, then they'll set it for us for free. But even if we don't, Fake Out into Lando means we can kill it. I'm pretty sure +1 Steel Spike will still kill Lando. They just go for Tri Attack. Okay, we could have just gotten the Trick Room up, but I think this is the more consistent play every time. We get yet another defense boost. 2 more defense boosts. Jeez, I don't... How high is Stack now? It had 2 coaching boosts, 2 beast boosts, and 2 steel spikes. It is at +6 defense. I would really like body press now, and we don't have it, and that is sad. Ooh, okay. Well, always verify your teams before you play. Luckily, we're just doing well enough that it doesn't matter now. Our max is over, but all they have is Rillaboom. Great. So even if they have high horsepower, I'm pretty sure that we should take it with +6 defense on Stack Attacka. There's literally nothing physically bulkier in the game than this. Guess you could add screens, maybe. Anyway, they could fake us out or glide. They could glide us. Then Copycat would be faster, so we could do that. But I don't think there's much of a point. I think Foul Play is better. They may attack us, they may not. We do have Torkoal in the back. Because we have Torkoal in the back, I think we want to set Trick Room. Like, Stack Attack should take a hit, and if we establish speed control with these two for the rest of the game, that should be great. So, yeah, we can just get some chip onto Rillaboom with a Foul Play, and then set up our Trick Room using Stack Attack. Actually, we got the Foul Play off, which is great, but that's kind of pointless. Torkoal was going to kill Rillaboom anyway. Woodhammer, nothing. Great. That's probably Miracle Seed, too, if I had to guess. And Tri Attack into Leopard. Okay, I think I should have Fake Tears into Porygon. That would have been the better move there, because it would have made Torkoal's Eruption hit like a truck. The good news is I don't think it matters now. We have Eruption on Torkoal, which will murder Rillaboom. and we can just attack into P2 with Stack Attacka. Alright, no-brainer here. We just Eruption, and then attack with Stack Attacka. We could Rock Slide, but Gyro Ball is 100% accuracy. I just don't like missing. I know Rock Slide would be stronger, especially because P2 is pretty slow. I think with this double up, it really doesn't matter. They could reset our Trick Room, which would suck, but I really don't think P2 can hurt Stack at all. Worst case, a freeze of some kind. But, you know, that was solid damage on Eruption, even without the single target, and they really should have tried to reverse our Trick Room, because they could have just had a infinite speed control with Recover. But yep, no reverse. Great. So we did get a crit on that Gyro Ball, which we probably didn't deserve. Had we not gotten that, would have had to switch to Rock Slides for flinches, but at this point it doesn't matter. We can just click Eruption and Gyro Ball again, and this game should be a wrap. Battle was cancelled. Alright, good games to my opponent. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, the rental is available at the beginning of the video and in the description, where I've also linked the paste. The Blastoise Kyogre team is getting taken down to make room for this week's, so make sure to grab the rental quickly if you're interested in trying it out. See you next week.